Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport. We are live here in the land of the rising sun here in Japan for the, I'm trying to remember what week this is, the 9th week of this season here for the Whodarron Cup once again. Just myself bringing you all the action here tonight. No Alexa Marshall joining me this evening, but Dan Davis in your commentary box and ready to give you all the racing action here tonight at Suzuka for, like I said, week 9 of the championship, and our first of 2 night races to come. First things first is here at this historic and iconic Suzuka circuit. And what a circuit it is. An FIA Grade 1, a capacity of 1,555,000 people here tonight. And obviously famously holds the F1 events, International GT Challenge, Super GT, Super Formula, and many other iconic events here, as well as a few of the drivers still in pit lane at the minute. A much quieter grid this evening at the moment, but hopefully it will start to fill up very soon. But this circuit is a 5.8 mile long circuit, 3.6 miles long if you want it in kilometers, of 18 turns, and the lap record is actually held by Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes W16 2025 F1 car, and a lap time set of a 1:30.9 in an F1 car. For a GT3 car, we're looking at a 2:01 in the Porsche 911, the 992, and that was set back in 2024 at the Suzuka GT World Challenge Asia round. And that is the lap time for the GT3. Obviously famously known for most amazing corners in motorsport. Obviously you got turn 1 and 2, famously known for Prost and Senna coming together for that famous first lap incident, probably one of the most iconic instances in turn 1, and obviously also for Alonso going through that sector and saying GP2 engine to his McLaren Honda. Look at where McLaren are now. Then you obviously got the famous S curves, which is 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then going through Dunlop curb. Then you got Degner 1 and Degner 2 heading up to the hairpin, and then to the most tricky corner of them all, in my opinion, Spoon Corner. Then through 130R, where Alonso famously went right round the outside of the legend himself, Michael Schumacher, and then into Casino Triangle 16, 17 and 18, and then down the main straight again. Some iconic circuits here nonetheless, but more importantly, it is all about the GT3 championship, Whodarron Cup is what I meant to say, and that's what tonight's all about, the Whodarron Cup, and it is turning into quite a interesting season, with one particular driver looking the strongest out of them all. And let's talk about the tables, as we've got a couple of the guys currently lapping around the circuit at the moment. It is Kieran O'Reilly who leads the way with 308 points, ahead of second place man Matthew Duffin. In third is then Ian McGowan, followed by Darren Yeo in P4, Skunky in P5 with Matt Wright now sat in P6, Friedman in P7 with Goudet in P8. P9 is Leach with P10 going the way of Ramsell. Langley in 11th with Aberdeen in 12th, Millington in 13th with Keynes in 14th, Varga 15th with Bolton in 16th, 17th is Flop, while in 18th is Tipping, 19th is Taylor, 20th is Bell, Hoffner 21st, Smith 22nd, Cherrymore 23rd, Archer 24th, Marsden 25th, with Johnson 26th, Stardog 27th, DeBont 28th, Cummings 29th, Hovath 30th, Storick 31st, Cox 32nd, Williams 33rd, Best 34th, and Raiden in 35th. Regarding the team's championship, it's still Dapper Racing leading away, but they are being hunted down by Greasy Bandits in second, 121 points separating them, with SimPlay Racing sat in P3. P4 is Team GBR, with Team RRM in P5. Quantum Motorsport in P6, with 7th going away of Ballbusters Racing. Team Piston Pounders in P8, with 9 going away for G&D Racing. 10 is CGT Motorsport, while in 11th is Team Audio Sport. 12 is Road Runners Motorsport, with Lexi Industries in 13th, Blunt Force Racing 14th, with Soldor Racing in 15th. 16th is OWR Racing, 2Cs Racing in 17th, and Team FBR in 18th. Apex in 19th, and OGR rounding off the championship standings. All still to play for at the minute, currently down to 25th. Everyone's still mathematically in it, but as each round goes by, it's going to get more and more difficult as each event goes through. We're currently at the minute leading away at this moment in time here at the Suzuka circuit is De Bont. He tops the session at this moment in time, and we'll see what he can do this evening. I've got a track map of the Suzuka circuit. I'm probably not going to need that because I do know this circuit relatively well, so we'll get rid of that. But here we are for Suzuka, and let's hear from you guys in the chat. What do we think of this fantastic circuit? Are we a lover of the Suzuka circuit, or are we haters of this circuit? It's not, for me, it's a great one lap circuit. It's a great, for the driver, it's great for when you get the lap. It's very rewarding, it's very satisfying, but other than that, to race on, I think it's probably one of the worst circuits out there. It's not the easiest to overtake. It's kind of, with the figure of 8, kind of throws the car off a little bit, but who knows, we might have some great racing here tonight. We've got currently 21 drivers in this evening. We've got De Bont leading away from O'Reilly in 2nd, 3rd is Will Friedman, Yo in 4th, Flop in 5th, Langley in 6th, Duffin in 7th, with Goudet in 8th. He's now gone to 6th. Aberdeen currently sat in 9th, with Cox in 10th, Millington in 11th, with Tipping sat in 12th, Storick 13th, with Marston 14th, Hovath in 15th, with Archer 16th, Wright 17th, Leach 18th, McGowan in 19th, Stardog in 20th, and Cherrymore now coming out in 21st position. So obviously, if you don't know by now and you are new to the channel, how tonight is going to work, it is a BTCCS kind of style night where we have a 20-minute sprint race for race 1, 2 and 3, and qualifying is a short qualifying. The first session is done by a 10-minute session, and then they will go into the first race of the night, which is no pit stops required. It's just a flat out race from start to end, and then we have a small break, a 7-minute break, then leading in, a 5-minute break, I think it's, no, yeah, something like that. A small break in between, where then they'll go for a 7-minute qualifying session, a shorter time around here. And with the circuit being 2-minute 12, it is important that they get out relatively quickly and get a lap time at least on the board, and a valid one at that. So following after that, it will then go into another race, and then the same again for race 3. So it's a quick, fast-paced session nonetheless, and obviously you can see in the background the Suzuka Ferris wheel looking beautiful as ever here at this fantastic circuit. And like I said, guys, let's hear from you this evening. Who are you cheering on this evening? We're starting to get to the business end of the season, not just for the Whodarron Cup, but also for the other championships as well, for Pro-Am and Pro. Next on the calendar will be Laguna Seca, and then followed by that, if I get the calendar up real quick, it's Laguna Seca after this for round 10. Round 11 will be Snetterton, and then round 12 will be Valencia, and then finishing things off at Donington Park for an evening race. Obviously Laguna Seca is another night race as well, so we have 2 night races on the bounce. Currently track temperature is air temperature is 25, track temperature is 25 also, and we shall see how they all get on this evening. So make sure, guys, you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified. And if you like what you see here and you want to be a part of the action at SimPlay Motorsport, then head over to our sim grid, get yourself signed up there, do your hot stints, and then you'll be put in the correct category, ready for any event that we host as well. And obviously coming to the end of this season, we will start to look at the new calendar and start putting in new dates and new circuits. And if you want to be a part of that, then you make sure you head over to our Patreon. Obviously the Patreons next season will determine what the calendar looks like. So, and a part of the scheme here at SimPlay Motorsport, we want to give back to the drivers and the league. So as a Patreon, if you signed up, you then get to vote on what is the calendar for next season, and usually that is the same calendar for whatever series we are running. My keyboard has died, so now I'm switching batteries. I need to get a wide one really. So hopefully we should have got, there we go, camera's working again. So we've got Darren Yeo currently on circuit at the minute, and he is one of the first ones out on circuit. O'Reilly just behind him. And O'Reilly as well, your defending GT4 champion. We're going to take a lap though with Darren Yeo once he gets around to the far end of the circuit. So not only do the drivers have to focus on making sure they deliver a good lap time, they also need to make sure that with the darkness they don't get too distracted or caught out, because obviously their braking points, their judgments, everything around them is going to change massively at night. And that is obviously the main challenge of night races. And we shall see how they take on this challenge. But the driver's still in pit lane at the minute. So you see here Darren Yeo just making sure he gives himself a nice gap to duff in before he starts his qualifying session here. So obviously the first thing you want to do is get yourself set up and ready for the final chicane. That's Casino chicane. Go through here and make sure you get a good slingshot and a good exit as you head down out of the final corner and heading down towards turn number 1. A little toe was always handy if you were able to get one, but you primarily want it at the end of the lap, not at the beginning, because that will obviously slow you down. Heading to turn number 1, make sure you drop down a couple of gears, get the front end turned in, let the car run out wide, and then try and swoop it back in for turn 2, and then get on the power, let the car run wide, as you then start going through the S curves, through into 3, then into 4, staying in the same gear, don't want to lose any traction, any slide through here. Very tricky as it's always climbing uphill, and then it starts to go slightly flat, downhill ever so slightly, and then up towards the tricky Dunlop corner. Let the car run out wide but not too loose, so the back end starts to slide round, and then put the foot down, keeping it pinned as you head down towards Degner 1 and then Degner 2. Abuse the first curve, try not to run out too wide, and then try and stay away from the inside curve for Degner 2. Run out wide, track limits is going to be very key here, and then head up towards the hairpin. Come around the right hander, see the end of the curve, that's your braking point. Brake all the way down to gear 1, get the front turned in, but you don't want to be on the traction too early, as the car will start to understeer or lose grip. And wide, down to a long swooping right-hander, the right-hander leading into the famous spoon corner. Staying far over to the right-hand side, you see the service brake, brake there, down 2 gears, front turns in, runs a little bit wide here, does Darren Yeo, but he brings the front back in for the second part of spoon. The rear end starting to go loose, starting to not like the elevation change, and then you have a great run out of spoon, heading down towards one of the most famous corners in Formula 1, 130R. I'm not sure in the genetics, but I know in the Lamborghini it's just a short lift, turn in, a little dab of the brakes for Darren Yeo, but he gets it turned in smooth through there and into Casino chicane. Make sure you hit the braking zone, make sure you get the car stopped, turned in, over the curve, over the second curve. This looks like a great lap, better than Duffy's, but I think because we slowly creeped onto the back of him, out of the final corner and heading down towards the line. The line isn't the first one there, it is the furthest one to us, which is just where Duffy's going through now. And Darren Yeo sets a 13.0, a great lap time for him there, and a great way to start his night. Meanwhile, O'Reilly comes across the line and does not set a lap time. Further back, we got Matt Wright going across the line. He goes P3 with that one. Archer now goes P5. Langley sets the pace with a 12.9. So good lap time from him. Goudet, though, goes into P3. So 2/10 separating them. De Bont in the hairpin. We got Aberdeen crossing the line. No improvement from him. Gary Leach, P5 for that one. 2 seconds off the pace currently at the minute. And Will Friedman sets the pace of a 12.0 now. A great lap time from him. Cherrymore, no lap time set for him either. So has to wait a little bit longer for a lap time from him. Flop is in the final end of the circuit, as is Cox. Here comes Millington towards the line. No lap time for him. Stark also on a lap. But I believe it will be Cox coming through the chicane. Yes, it is. And heading now down towards the finish line. And what can Cox do? 15th, his debut last time out. His second time he is racing, or second week, and he does not improve on his lap, or he does not set a lap time. McGowan now coming to the line. And that puts him P5, a solid start for him. Car off in the background, that was Cox. Flop to the line, he goes P5 and push McGowan further down. Stark coming into the final few corners. Who we're going to miss there, I just missed a driver, that was De Bont, and he sets a lap time of 11.3, a great lap time there from De Bont, and setting the pace at the moment. Hovath now coming to the line, 9th place for him. And Stardog didn't actually set a lap time at that point. And then we go back to the top. Duffin coming out the final corner. And what lap time can he produce here? Tries to take the shortest line to the inside. He crosses the line and moves himself up into 5th place. Darren Yeo, no improvement there. He's got now Langley coming out of the final corner. He's got Leach just ahead of him. As O'Reilly now goes second to De Bont. So good lap time from him. Matthew Wright goes into 10th. Langley, does he improve? He does not. And just behind him is Goudet, who goes 5th. Tries to stay to the inside, but kind of ruins his next run through the turn 1. We've got another driver coming to the line. I'm not sure who that was. Either way, we'll go on board with Stark, because he's now coming out of the final corner. I believe it was Will Friedman, actually. Yes, it was. So he just missed Friedman. As here comes Stark. He gets to the line. There's still no lap time on the board. Cherrymore. And again, no lap time from him. Millington now coming to the line. What can he produce? That's going to be 12th place, just behind his teammate. The Quantum Motorsport boys lining line astern there. We've got a few more cars in the final sector. That is McGowan now coming out of the final chicane. To the line he comes. What can he produce here? 9th at the minute. 2.1 off the pace of De Bont. We'll get another lap in as well. He comes to the line, no improvement, and stays where he is. I believe that is the 8. Is it De Bont? Yes, it is De Bont. And he finds another 10th there, so an improvement once again from him. Yellow car across the line. I think that's Cox starting a lap. Yes, it is, as Friedman is done. Duffin now coming to the line, as is De Bont. De Bont can't improve no more on that. Once again, Duffin's got Yo for company just behind him. Out the final corner comes Duffin. He will get another lap in here. So obviously this first session, they do get quite a few laps. Does Duffin improve? 1.8 off the pace. No, he does not, nor does Yo. So a couple of track limits for those boys, as O'Reilly now comes to the line. And no improvement once again from him. So people just struggling to find those little bit improvements here and there. Matt Wright is done and in the pit lane. Goudet improves to go to P5. Langley is still P4. Who's that coming down the straight now? That was Gary Leach now coming to the line. 3.1 off the pace. And still no improvement for him either. So people, like I said, just struggling to find those couple of tenths now. And Cherrymore, has he finally got a lap time on the board? Is he going to make it in time to get another one in? Cherrymore, no, still no lap time from him. Further back, I believe that is Millington coming to the line. Yes, it is. And he just stays behind 2 tenths behind Matt Wright, his more experienced teammate. And McGowan now out of the final chicane. McGowan, can he find any more pace in this car? To the line now come McGowan. He's 10th at the minute. Any improvement? Yes, that puts him P6. So a big improvement for him there. He's got another car towards the line. That was flop, and a big improvement there for him. P4 in the end for him. We've got a couple more cars still on a lap. Hovnath is one of them. Cox is on a lap, and he goes 13th with that one. Stardog, has he finally got a lap time on the board? Yes, he has. That will put him 11th. And a few more to come. Yeah, Hovnath has gone into the pits. And it's Darren Yeo coming out of the final chicane. So your top 3 kind of really gone off on their own within a second. And then backwards on from there, you can really see who's struggling there. From flop downwards, everyone's relatively close as Darren Yeo does not improve and stays where he is. And Goudet is going to out-qualify Yeo for the first time, I think, this season. And he's still on another lap. So Goudet seems to be really enjoying the Suzuka circuit here. And any improvement there? No, he does not improve. Aberdeen's in pit lane. Who's left to set a lap time? Gary Leach now exiting the final corner, currently 15th. 3.1 off the pace, and he is done. It's just Cherrymore now to complete this session. And through Casino Chicane he goes. Has he produced the lap time that he needs? Cherrymore in 21st position, and he goes 17th with that one. So, Dabont takes pole position here for the first race tonight. And I've got to try and find him on my tables now. But Dabont takes pole position here at Suzuka. And Matt's already done it again. Matt beat me to it, so he was obviously watching the session then and making sure to see where people were finishing in that one. Guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. And like I said, if you like all the action here at SimPlay, then feel free to get yourself signed up. You head over to the Sim Grid as we will start a poll here for your Race 1 winner. Although we are coming to the end of the season, we still got some great things coming up later as well. We always do a end of season fun events. Obviously in the off season, that's what will be happening. So still get yourself signed up and ready to go racing. We've got a WRC event going on at the minute as well. So if you want to be a part of that, then you have to speak to our good friend Benny Archer, who is running that event. So you get yourself a part of that, which 20 seconds. Myself is I do like rally, but I'm not very good at it. So I might have to, you know, maybe sign up and have a go and 10 seconds. See how bad I am compared to everyone else. But there you go, guys. That is the poll at the minute. And we shall see how things are going to go in this one, as Dabont's not got his lights on. He is required to put his lights on. There we go. So let's have a run through of the grid order then. another dead battery. No, I haven't. So, on pole position is De Bont for the Bullbusters Racing. P2 is your championship leader, Kieran O'Reilly for Dapper Racing. P3 is Will Friedman for Team RRM. P4 is for Lexi's Industries Racing is Flop. P5 for CGT Motorsport is Langley. P6 for Team GBR is Goudet. P7 for Greasy Bandits Racing is McGowan. P8 is Yo for Team GBR. 9th for SimPlay Racing is Duffin, with Aberdeen doing it in 10th place for Team Piston Pounders. P11 is Blunt Force Racing for Stardog. Matt Wright sitting P12 for Quantum Motorsport, followed by his teammate Millington in that 13th place position. Cox starting in 14th place position ahead of Team Audio Sports Leach. Hovnath in 16th. Cherrymore will start in 17th. 18th is Benny Archer and the Roadrunners Motors. 19th is Team Piston Pounders Tipping. Blunt Force Racing Marston in 20th. And 2C's Racing Storrock is in 21st position. I've just also noticed there's only, I think, three teams. I think there's only 3 teams with a full driver lineup, and that is Team GBR, the Team Piston Pounders, so 4, Blunt Force Racing and Quantum are the only ones that have their entire grid here this evening. So let's had a few drivers missing, and we've lost a few throughout the season as well, which is a shame, but nonetheless it is still a great championship, and we thoroughly enjoyed having the Whodarron Cup. Circuit has finally gone into optimum, and now the circuit has gone optimum. These guys will then suddenly be so much happier because they'll find grip, they'll find confidence, and then their cars will be completely different, which they will absolutely hate. Also, a reminder as well, please give our fantastic sponsors a follow and a like on all of their channels, Design Manchester and Audio Sports as well. All their information are in the bio below. So head over to Design Manchester's Facebook page, where they produce vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing, and much, much more, including SimPlay merchandise. Audio Sport, manufacturer of VW Transporter, T4 audio solutions and styling products. Head over to www.audiosport.co.uk and their Facebook link is there as well. And if you want to be on this grid, if you want to be racing with some of the top guys in the console championship, then head over to our sim grid, get signed up on the Discord, do your hot stint, and you can be on the grid racing with these guys. There's available spaces for the Genettas and for Pro and for Pro-Am, but we need to make sure obviously you make the cut for each class. Bullbusters Racing, Dapper Racing, De Bont versus O'Reilly on the front row. Who's going to take the win here tonight? We shall see. Friedman and Flop just behind. 20-minute sprint coming your way in just a few moments' time, as we now wait for starters order here for Suzuka. The first race of the week and the first race of the night. We now wait for this start. And we are green and go, racing here at Suzuka, the land of the rising sun, and Flop has not had a good start as they all form into a 1-by-1 formation heading down towards turn number 1, and De Bont with the jump that he needed. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack all getting into a formation, except for there, I think Stardog making contact with Millington right, and around it will go multiple cars in the wall, including Leach, Wright, and a few others as well. Cox ended up in the pits, but a few of the bronze drivers moving their way up the order as well. But it's De Bont who leads away from O'Reilly, from Friedman, from now Langley, and then it is Goudet. Flop in the end, dropping a few places. Duffin, meanwhile, going wheel to wheel with McGowan. I'm not sure where Yo is at the minute. Did Yo end up in some form of contact? He's ended up further back. So Darren Yo ended up having some form of contact somewhere, not sure where, but it is De Bont leading away. As my tables now start to update, Cox has got going and racing now and Langley looking very aggressive there on the move on the back of Friedman. Reminder as well, we have championship ballast on board, and O'Reilly will be carrying 40 kilos. So you've got a much lighter Will Friedman already planning to attack as they come up towards Spoon. Looking to the outside, but no opportunities there. Meanwhile, further back, Duffin was looking at McGowan, but he's not quite close enough. Rest of the pack, though, all relatively spread out. And Leach looking to try and work his way back up the order. But there, Yo, making contact with the back of Marston. He goes wide and makes another mistake. So Yo, having a couple of impressive rounds recently, has ended up dropping down the order and is trying to work his way back up to a position that he feels more comfortable in. But Aberdeen, an absolutely brilliant start for him, still sitting on the back of your leaders. But O'Reilly now being the cork in the bottle and is being held up, was holding up Friedman and Langley. But Langley's had a great run through the final corner there and is on the rear wing of Friedman as we go on board with Friedman. Langley looking for an opportunity to go up the inside of turn one, but he's not quite close enough there. Brave to do it. If you go into turn one, you really have to have that confidence, and he does set fastest lap, the first one to set a valid lap. And Aberdeen meanwhile giving Duffin a bit of a hard time here, so Aberdeen looking really racing. Hofnath has also worked up to 10th as well, so a good start for him. Millington clearing a few cars, but Yo, one of the bigger losers, and Cherrymore is into the pits. Cox obviously finally got going, but like I said, it's not the easiest circuit to overtake around here. You really need a significant amount of advantage to really work your way through the order. As they head now towards the Degners. Friedman meanwhile looking to get away from Langley a little bit again. He has managed to do so. Meanwhile, Duffin is right on the back bumper of McGowan. McGowan just looking a little bit under pressure here. Once again, Aberdeen right behind him. Meanwhile, further back, Hovnath is under pressure from Millington. Millington, a great run out at the hairpin, is right on the back bumper of the Red Ginetta. As he going to look to go to the inside of Spoon. He's not quite close enough. He's there or thereabouts, but he's not going to do it. He's going to wait a little bit later on. If Hofnath makes a mistake through Spoon, then Millington's going to have the opportunity, but he himself has gone a little bit wide and made a mistake through there and has lost momentum. Meanwhile, Friedman in the slipstream of O'Reilly and really can't do anything to the dapper racing Ginetta. He's just keeping tabs on De Bont at the minute, but De Bont with the early advantage and managing to pull away from these two. Langley seems to have hit a wall and is unable to go with them. And you've got Goudet hunting him down with Flop, McGowan, Duffin and Aberdeen. Hopnath completing the top 10. And we look further back, no other real movement other than Yo has moved past Marsden. And everyone else in order. Cherrymore dropping to the back of the pack with Cox. Once again, Aberdeen really giving Duffin a hard time at the minute. Making him work for this 8th place position. Chris in the chat saying, love Suzuka, go on Matt. Just struggling at the minute. He's got 35 kilos on board his car as well, so he's got a lot of weight to carry around of him. And he's just struggling at this stage, second in the championship. And once again, O'Reilly, he sets fastest lap of the race, does O'Reilly, so either De Bont's pushing the limits out in front and not able to set a valid lap time, or O'Reilly is genuinely lapping a little bit quicker than De Bont at the minute. But Friedman with a really loose back end then, really struggling to keep that car under control. He manages to do so. And now McGowan looking to try and put some pressure on the back of Flop. Yo, by the looks of things, is starting to catch onto the back of Millington and Hovnath. Matt Wright is now onto the back of Storrock. Storrock's gone very wide through Degner too, and that's a position gain for Matt Wright. Can now Marsden go up there with him? No, he cannot. Leach has cleared Stardog now. So Leach makes another position as Marsden gets a little bit out of shape going through the hairpin. Manages to collect it together. O'Reilly once again looking in the rear view as Friedman is close behind him. pulling away from McGowan. He's got Duffin behind him. O'Reilly looking behind him at the minute because he can see that Ginetta or Will Friedman coming at him pretty quick. Later on the brakes, got more confidence on the brakes as Friedman. Obviously with no weight on board, or less weight, sorry. Makes it a lot easier for him to kind of chuck it into corners. Flopping well. He's keeping McGowan and Duffin at bay. Aberdeen's just sticking with him, so if anything happens between these guys, he's going to be the beneficial out of that. Hovnaf still defending off Millington quite well, as he got now right onto the back of Archer, and he's brought Stork with him as well. Darren Yeo has dropped this group as well, so he's now trying to hunt down Millington, as Matt Wright looks to try and give Archer a little bit of pressure. Unable to do so as he looks to turn number 1. He's not quite close enough. Or was he? No, he had a look as Stardog's come into the pits, possibly damage to his car. But again, no real movement here at the minute, as a lot of the cars are close to one another, but they're not really close enough to make a move. If anything, the closest fight at the minute is this fight between Duffin and McGowan as they head up towards Degner 1 and 2. Duffin able to attack the curb a little bit more than McGowan. Get it wrong now, and it can spit him back out. He's got a good run through Degner 2. But he just needs a little bit more momentum to kind of send it up the inside, up the hairpin. Duffin goes to the outside. McGowan defends the inside. Duffin trying to get a better exit, but he can't do so. He's going to have to fold in behind the Ginetta of McGowan, the Greasy Bandits driver. Hovnaf, meanwhile, still got pressure from Millington. And there's Marsden. He's gone off big time, and into the wall he goes. That's going to give Leach and Archer a position. As Duffin, meanwhile, looking at McGowan once again as he comes to the exit of Spoon. That was a great run through there. We're on board with McGowan once again. Duffin close, but not close enough. Got to go through 130R, and he's going to have to be brave, and he has a moment, he has a twitch, he runs wide, and that's going to ruin his run on McGowan, and he has to yield that time, or else he'll get a strike. As we see here, O'Reilly and Friedman going close. Possibly, I think that might have been Friedman, may have missed the chicane, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, down towards turn number 1, Friedman still behind O'Reilly. Meanwhile, Langley still got pressure from Goudet, and then you got this titanic fight between McGowan and Duffin. Hovnaf now under pressure from Millington, and now Darren Yeo. All these guys relatively close to one another. Hovnaf there able to just defend off the 59 of Millington. Further back, we've got this close fight between Marsden, Archer and Leach. They're all working their way through the S's at this precise time. So O'Reilly still in arm's reach of DeBont, so any mistake from DeBont and he is able to capitalise. But at this moment in time, DeBont looking in control and looking good at the minute. Langley now a little bit more pressure coming from Goudet. Wheel versus controller here at the minute as we got to the halfway stage of this race. Three-way vote between DeBont, O'Reilly and Flop. Flop is going to struggle to win this one, but nonetheless, he's given it a good shot. Anything can still happen at this stage. Meanwhile, Duffin has finally had a run through the hairpin and looking at McGowan. McGowan just defends him off into the entry of Spoon. Duffin needs to make sure he gets a good exit out of Spoon so that he can really give him a good go, not through 130R, but through into the final chicane. That's where he wants to make the move, as Aberdeen has now just dropped off the back of these two. Langley still holding off Goudet at the minute, but again, Duffin just probably struggling with that weight on board and a little bit of dirty air, and he's not close enough to the back of McGowan. All he gets a little bit close on the brakes, but just about gets to stop. Meanwhile, Aberdeen goes straight on. Here comes Hofnath and Millington. Hofnath defends the inside. Millington goes to the outside. Well, Yo is just behind the pair of them. We go on board with Yo, and Millington gets the job done on the outside. Now Yo wants to come through. Hofnath ends up on the curb, but Yo, with a poor exit, is not able to capitalise on that one. But good racing there, and Millington, a brilliant move out of the chicane to go around the outside. Job done for him. Brilliant stuff from him. Meanwhile, Friedman has just dropped off the back of O'Reilly, and they properly dropped off the back of DeBont, who's clearly got a good lead over the rest. Fourth at the minute is the way of Langley. Goudet fifth. Flop sixth. McGowan seventh. Eighth is Duffin. Aberdeen is ninth. Millington now in 10th, and Hofnath and Yo. Yo's got past Hofnath there, so possibly done it into turn number 1. And now he looks to try and set his eyes on Millington. Everyone else pretty much spread out. So now your closest fight at the minute is Langley and Goudet. Gray and John going at it. Board with Langley at this moment in time. Goudet coming up to Spoon. Quite close enough to get the job done at this moment in time. And Langley just a little bit cautious on the throttle on the exit of Spoon. He has pulled a bit of a gap. Meanwhile, McGowan has started to bring the gap down a little bit to Flop. Position still on hand there. Millington has a big moment out the exit of Spoon, and this should really give Darren Yo an opportunity towards 130R. Millington there just sticking to the racing line at this stage. Yo looking to go up the inside of 130R there, wheel to wheel. Yo at the inside. Millington, a little bit of contact there, but Yo gets the job done through 130R, and job done. Or is Millington coming up the inside of the chicane? He tries to give it a go, but he hasn't got quite enough of the braking performance that he would have won. But Yo is a poor exit out of the chicane. That's going to give Millington an opportunity to go up the inside. And Millington with a much, much better run. This has just held everyone up and got Hofnath back involved as well. Wright is slowly catching onto the back of him also. But Yo finally gets the job done into turn number 1, and Millington losing out of position there. Meanwhile, Langley and Goudet continue their fight. 4th and 5th at the minute, and Langley just seems to have him covered. McGowan now pressurising Flop, and Duffin now just dropped off the pair of them, and it seems like his pace has just vanished. Hofnath now under pressure from Matt Wright. They go up towards Dunlop and through into Degner 1 and 2. Back on the board. Langley and Goudet. Just see these two just seem to be ebbing and flowing with one another. One seems to be better in one sector than the other, and you can expect Goudet was really struggling with the dirty air from the back of Langley's car. McGowan once again gets close, but not quite close enough. Hofnath, meanwhile, has got his hands full because he's got Matt Wright breathing down his neck. He was caught up in that first lap incident. Well, Matt Wright goes very wide out of Spoon corner. Which gives Hofnath that little breathing space that he needed. Once again, Langley just able to fend off Goudet at the minute. Flop now has actually gapped McGowan a little bit. 7/10, is it still 7? It's 9/10, and Duffin now gets closer to McGowan. Aberdeen, though, a brilliant drive for him in P9 at this moment in stage. Yo pulling away from Millington now, and here comes Wright and Hofnath. We go on board with Wright, who's looking to go up the inside of Hovnath into turn 1. They go, he's still there. Job done there for Matt Wright. He needs to make sure he gets a good exit out of turn 1. Job done for him, and through he goes. Meanwhile, Langley looks like he's had a poor run through the S's, and G'day is right behind him. All over the curb, bouncing all over it, as Langley tries to find a way through. Meanwhile, he's got McGowan and Duffin for company. John waiting for that right opportunity to just send it on Langley, but he's not quite close enough. The top 3 though, evenly spread out, 2.4 separating them at the minute. But John, with a great run through the hairpin, is right underneath the back of Langley and is going to look to the inside. Langley just touching the grass a little bit there, possibly unsettled his car. It has sent him out wide, and John's going to look up the inside of the exit of Spoon. Langley goes wide, the rear end steps out, and John should get that job done. Yes, he will. Langley, though, goes straight into the slipstream, but John has got the job done before 130R as well. So can Langley come back at him towards the end of this race? He comes to the chicane now. Oh, Langley looks like he's missed his brakes. He's gone straight on, but he's has to give that position back. He did gain an advantage from it, and John will hold on to the position. Meanwhile, your leader, DeBont, out in front, comfortable as you like. 3-second gap ahead of O'Reilly, then another 3 seconds back is Friedman, your top 3, as we go on your penultimate lap. G'day currently sat P4 ahead of Langley, Flop, McGowan. Duffin's dropped off the back of him now, so possibly a mistake, as Aberdeen in a lonely 9th at the minute. Yo in 10th, with Millington in 11th, being hunted down by Wright in 12th, Hovnath in 13th. And in the background now is Storick in that 14th place position, Leach in 15th, Archer in 16th, Marsden 17th, Tipping in 18th, Storick in that 19th place position, 20th is Cherrymore, and Cox in 21st. Oh, and both Langley and Goudet both go off the circuit there, both doing the same thing, and a little mistake from the pair of them there, and Flop actually has gained a little bit on Langley, so not sure if anything's happened between these two that's caused them to just drop further back in this gaggle of cars. But they are close once again. Flop meanwhile starting to absorb some pressure from the back of McGowan. So far it's looking so good for DuPont. Looking good and looking strong is DuPont at the minute. O'Reilly not able to capitalise at this moment in time, really struggling. And like I said, this is the problem with Suzuka. It's kind of a slow circuit. It's a fast circuit, but slow for racing. It's not really exciting. As we now start the final lap, DuPont leading the way. We stay on these group of cars because it's all relatively close here. I don't know if Goudet's lost a little bit more time. No, he hasn't. It's Langley who is under pressure at the minute, as you got the fight between the two Quantum boys. But we'll stay on board with Langley and Flop at the minute, because that is your current fight at the moment. I said it's really difficult just to find any opportunity around here. Now Langley just holding off the threat of Flop at the minute. Flop not close enough at this moment in time. Matt Wright meanwhile has got ahead of Millington, so position gain for him there. two teammates swap positions. As I'm trying to be organised, they'd be ahead of the game. Hopefully they're not going to change too many positions too quickly. Everyone is pretty much stable at the minute, but DeBont out in front, looking good, looking strong. And it's looking like he is going to take a race win here. Coming into the chicane now though, your Ballbusters racing driver of DeBont has been looking good, looking strong in this first race, and he is going to score some good points here. DeBont coming out of the final corner now. He is going to finish first here in the first race tonight. A brilliant job for DeBont. He wins here in the first race. O'Reilly, a championship leader in second. Friedman with a solid P3 as well. Goudet, in the end, is going to finish in P4. Langley in P5. Cox gets a drive for penalty for track limits. Flop in the end, fifth. Fifth in the end was Langley. Sixth in the end was Flop. McGowan is seventh. Duff in eighth. Aberdeen is now ninth. Yo is in 10th place position. Ahead of then Matt Wright and Millington in 12th place position. Hovnath in 13th. Storrock is going to finish in that 14th place position. Then it's going to be Leach in 15th place position. Archer is going to finish in 16th ahead of Marsden, ahead of Tipping, ahead of Stardog, and then Cherrymore and Cox rounding off the order here. Just double check these two don't swap round. That is it for those guys. Some great points there for everyone as well. And we just see now Tipping coming to the line. It's been a good night so far for these guys, really pushing the limits here at the Suzuka circuit. Not the easiest circuit to race at. Starrock now in the final few sectors here, ready to finish off his race. And a great drive for me for Aberdeen. Really solid. He sat in that P9 the whole time and did not look phased whatsoever. So some good points there for him. I believe we've got everyone done in the points. But that is race one, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a few minutes' time as we will have a quick break, and then we'll be heading into the next qualifying session, and even into Ian Best in the chat. And I see you in the chat, buddy. That is it. We'll be back in a few moments' time, and we'll have race two underway. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport, and we are just in some good timing here because we have got qualifying underway at the moment, and as I said, it's quite a fast change for me to get everything done, get chilled and resting and do all my usual things. But we are back into the session. Just double checking to make sure I have done all the tables information. So yeah, looks all up to date and good. So after that, championship standing still looks like this. It is O'Reilly still leading the way by quite a significant margin, ahead of Duffin in second place. Third is McGowan. Fourth is now Yo, Wright in fifth, with Friedman in sixth, Skunky dropping to seventh, Goudet in eighth, Leach ninth, Ramsell 10th, Langley 11th, Aberdeen 12th, Millington in 13th, Flop 14th, Cranes in 15th, Varga 16th, Bolton 17th, 18th is Tipping, 19th is Taylor, Bell 20th, Hoffner is now out of the championship standing, he's 21st. Archer 22nd, Cherrymore 23rd, Smith 24th, 25th is Marsden, DeBont 26th, 27th is Stardog, Johnson 28th, Hovnath 29th, Storrock 30th, Cummings 31st, Cox 32nd, Williams 33rd, Best 34th, Raiden 35th, Rook and Wheel and Goodwill have not set any points at the minute. Regarding the teams, Dapper Racing still leads, 77 points ahead of Greasy Bandits Racing in second, SimPlay Motorsport in third, fourth is Team GBR, fifth is RRM, with Quantum Motorsport sat in P6, Bullbusters Racing in seventh, eighth is Team Piston Pounders, ninth is G&D Racing, CGT Motorsport in 10th, Team Audio Sport in 11th, 12th is Roadrunners Motorsport with Lexi Industries in 13th, Blunt Force in 14th with Soldor 15th, 16th is OWR, 17th is 2Cs Racing, Team FBR in 18th, and Apex in that final 19th place position. So that is the standings currently at the minute. We are now into a race 2 and qualifying number 2. There's Duffin, who's currently leading us out at the moment. Goes through deck number 1. So that said, it has been a very interesting season this season with some great racing. Obviously, O'Reilly's really been the man to beat this season. He's looked very good in his GT4s. Obviously, winning last time out in his McLaren. Obviously, everyone now running the Ginetta for this season in marks of memory of the driver we lost last season, Whodarron. And that's the whole point in this championship. To mark respect to him. As we get things underway here, we now have Benny Varga has joined us in the session as well. So Varga now making it to the grid. So that now takes us up to 22 drivers here this evening. So Tipping, Marsden and Storrock all opting not to set a lap time. Now come into the final chicane now. And Duffin's going to be the first one to set a lap time here this evening. And what is the lap time going to be? It looks like a good exit out of the final corner, but what's it going to be for Duffin? It is going to be a 13.4. I'm sure DeBont and the others. O'Reilly sets a 2.11, so a good lap time from him. Langley, no lap time set for him. As I now wait for a couple others to cross the line. Goudet crosses the line and goes P2, half a second off of O'Reilly, so that's a good lap time. Millington in the end goes P4, so a good lap time from him. Darren Yo now coming to the line. No lap time set from him. DeBont still in a little bit of traffic. Cox now to the line goes 6th. And he is side by side with Archer at the minute, so they're close to one another. Aberdeen comes out of the final corner, but Flock goes to the line first. He goes 6th with that one. There is Aberdeen. Hovnaf goes 6th. Where does Friedman go? He goes 2nd, only 52 thousandths off of the back of O'Reilly. And Aberdeen goes into P5, continuing that good pace that he has. Gary Leach now to the line. No lap time set for him either. And we now look to Stardog now to come out of the final corner, I believe. Vargo's not got his lights on. No, he hasn't. He needs to get them on ASAP. And P6 goes the way of Stardog. Duffin, meanwhile, still got the Bont hunting him down. All this is going to do is hurt the Bont's lap time at the minute. McGowan opting to go at a different time as everyone else. He is going to struggle to get multiple laps, and I think he should be able to get one more in. So everyone should be able to at least have 2 lap times on this one. Duffin and the Bont are going to be tight to the line, but here comes McGowan now. 30 seconds on the clock. He will get another lap time on the board, and he goes P5 with that lap time. Duffin now into the chicane, but he's got the Bont really up his backside now, and a lot of that pressure is not going to be helping him out at all. He exits the final corner, 20 seconds, so at least I think these 4 at the front should be able to get another lap time on the boards. So Duffin crosses the line. He doesn't improve, but the Bont goes 2nd. Duffin stays 9th, and O'Reilly now goes fastest. Langley crossing the line. He's not put a lap time on the board, and Goudet just misses out. Matt Wright now, Goudet goes in P4. Matt Wright got another lap. He's 5th. As Millington now goes into P10. Now we've got Yo. Can he improve on his lap time? He goes to 5th. Looks like we've got another driver coming through the line. Doesn't see who it is. I think someone pulling into the pits in the end. Archer goes 16th with that lap time. Cherrymore 15th. Flop now goes into 9th. Aberdeen opting to pit there. And to the line goes Aberdeen. He's done for the session. Stardog yet to finish a lap. Duffin on a lap. I think the Bont is done. Leach to the line goes 9th on that one. And Langley looking for a lap. He's not put a lap time on the board yet. Duffin currently 13th at the minute and struggling, as the Bont is going to have to put up for 3rd. And O'Reilly sets pole position. But at the minute, Will Friedman sat P2nd as well. So he's going to give him a bit of a headache here. But it's now down to Langley and Duffin to see what they can do. Stardog goes 8th on that lap time. So Duffin now trying to push as much lap time out of that Ginetta as he possibly can. Get himself a little bit higher. I think he's going to struggle to take pole position. I did get confused there because I didn't put in... could not see O'Reilly's colour because he's in black on the tables. But out of the final corner comes Duffin now. The final few corners. Through a chicane goes Duffin. What is this lap time going to be for him? And is an improvement 2.3 off the pace at the minute. He only goes 11 with that one, and Langley does not get a lap time on the board. He invalidated, and that is him done. So it's O'Reilly who takes another pole position here. And what a lap time from him. Only 0.04 of a second ahead of Friedman in the end. So the Bont obviously being right up the backside of Duffin really hurt him in qualifying, and even affected Duffin as well, starting 11th on this one. He's going to struggle to work his way through the order again on here, because like we just figured out, Suzuka is an incredibly difficult circuit to overtake at, especially in these cars, because obviously well balanced. There's no obvious advantage to one driver, so it's really difficult to find that mistake, find that gap, and take the points away. John Goudet is having a very good night at the minute. I don't want to curse him too much, but he is looking very good this evening. They've got another pole going out at the minute. sure Goudet is going to be hoping for maybe a coming together from the front three to get himself an opportunity to get a podium. I believe it would be his first podium of the season. Tip says, no fun when your lights go out under braking. Not sure what happened there. Maybe some front end damage probably caused those lights to go out.
30 seconds.
As I have a look now for John, his best points position of the season has been, I think, a P4.
10 seconds.
Yeah, that last race was his best result yet, P4. So can he go one better in this one? That is the question. As we get ourselves ready and raring to go for the second race tonight. But O'Reilly once again on pole position here. Can he take a win, or will Friedman and De Bont try and stop him? That is the question. Make sure you hit that like button, guys, and hit that bell to be notified so you do not miss any of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. And while you're there as well, head over to our links below, because you've got our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sports as well. Give them a like and follow on all their stuff as well. Also as well, we're coming to the end of the season, so you know what that means. It'll be off-season time with some fun events that will be coming up very, very soon. So we are still in discussions of what we're going to do for the off-season. But when the admin meeting comes around, I'm sure we will come up with something. Hopefully we can get an endurance race going. I really want to push that forward and see what we can do. And obviously, if you want to be a Patreon as well, that gives you an opportunity to then say what you want to see on the calendar next season. The Patreons get to vote on what the calendar looks like. So it's not down to us. The only rule that we have is Donington is always on the calendar, being the home of SimPlay Motorsport. So we have got, obviously it's down to the drivers to decide what circuits we'll be seeing next time round. A few other perks as well, being a Patreon, you get to reserve your race number. Once you reserve your race number, no one else can take it. For example, my race number is 16, and if I'm a Patreon, no one can use that race number in any other league, any other class, I mean. Also as well, if you post anything on Instagram and tag SimPlay Motorsport, it will automatically go to the Instagram page and TikTok page as well. Your streams will automatically be posted in the Discord as well. If you do try and post your streams in the Discord and you are not a Patreon, then it will instantly get deleted. Obviously, that's one of the perks for being a Patreon. And also, you'll get priority to events as well. So if you sign up, you will be one of the first involved in that. As we now come to Spoon, and we get a quick run through of the grid order for race 2. It is O'Reilly who will start on pole position, ahead of Will Friedman in second. Then it'll be De Bont in third, Goudet in fourth. Yo will start in fifth with Matt Wright in sixth. McGowan in seventh. Gary Leach will start eighth. Stardog will start ninth. 10th will be Aberdeen. It's all gone a bit completely mad here, so I don't actually think they're in the right order. Or are they? I'm not sure if they're in the right order or not, so I'm not even going to bother trying. But we come into the final corner now. Once again, O'Reilly on the front row, but this time it's not De Bont with him. It is Will Friedman. De Bont further back. Who is going to take the win here this evening? That is the question. As they now line up side by side into Casino Chicane. Dapper Racing versus Team RRM. Friedman versus O'Reilly. Second time tonight here at Suzuka. Who is going to take the win? We now wait for driver's orders here for race 2. And we are green and go racing here at Suzuka. Friedman with a decent start. It's going to be looking to go around the outside of O'Reilly. O'Reilly bit bogged down and he's not going to get the jump that he wanted. Friedman's going to go right round the outside. O'Reilly's going to try and keep his nose up the inside. And they go side by side. They're still side by side. Friedman have the next inside corner, but O'Reilly's going to try and hang it out around the outside. They make slight contact and O'Reilly gets the position, but Friedman stays to the outside. Who have the inside for the next part of the S's. De Bont's right there as well. They get close, but O'Reilly does force his way through and holds onto the position as Friedman now under pressure from De Bont as they go up towards Dunlop corner. Now they're up the inside goes Goudet. He's going to try and get the job done on De Bont, but he can't quite get it done there. Everyone else relatively clean and through the first couple of laps here. A few cars to the back of the pack. I think that's Langley, Hovnaff, sorry, Cox and Flop all to the back of the pack. But O'Reilly defends off Friedman right at the beginning there as De Bont now under pressure from the both team GBR Racing Duo. And De Bont now really under pressure there as Gary Leach goes off right in the background and joins back on circuit and then gets shoved off by Varga. And he's got Langley now right behind him. Langley's going to look up the inside, going up towards Spoon. And Leach being properly rubbed up here as they head up towards Spoon. Now down the inside goes Gray. Langley's going to get the job done. Yes, he is, and through he goes. Job done. Meanwhile, Duffin under pressure from Stardog here as we go up towards the fast left-hander of 130R. And O'Reilly in the middle of the circuit defending from Friedman, and Friedman right behind him. Bouncing over the curb. There you go. De Bont trying to keep Goudet off behind him while the rest of them work their way through the left-hander. Aberdeen, another solid drive in P7 at the minute. Duffin trying to get past McGowan. I think McGowan had to cut the canes ever so slightly there. And meanwhile, Leach dropping that the pack even more. He's got Millington behind him now with Storrock close and Archer and Tipping. Flop and Hovnaff dropping to the back of the pack. There is Cox as well. But your top three once again close to one another. It's O'Reilly, Friedman and De Bont. Goudet just a little bit further back. But meanwhile, we got Darren Yeo under some pressure from Matt Wright in P6. Much better start from him on this one. Not caught up in the first lap incident. Duffin as well, just putting a little bit of pressure on the back of McGowan. Langley getting past Leach by the looks of things, and job done. And he now hunts after Marsden. Through the S's, they all go all in order. Dunlop curb into Degner 1, Degner 2. O'Reilly, fastest lap of the race and keeping the two behind. Goudet pulling away from Yo at the minute. Aberdeen goes a little bit wide. That's going to allow Matt McGowan to have a sniff an opportunity up towards the hairpin. Looks to the inside that may have put him a little bit under pressure from Duffin, and Duffin spins McGowan right round. Will Duffin give the position back up? That is the question as McGowan has finally got going. Oh, and once again a little tap there from Marsden as Marsden now goes up the inside. And Marsden and McGowan going side by side. And McGowan gives Marsden a little shove himself and pushes him wide. Now Leach goes down the inside of Marsden. It is all just door banging at the minute, and it looks like Millington's going to try and capitalise on that as well, as Marsden getting roughed up a little bit. Now he's gone into the side of Millington. Marsden bouncing over the grass or over the curb. A little bit push and shovey towards the back here. Marsden now having to back off as they go through 130R, and Leach and Millington get close, and Millington nearly hitting the back of Leach as they head towards the chicane, and Marsden back up the inside and hits the back of Leach, hits the side of Millington, and Marsden goes round. And that's what happens when you get a little bit pushy and shovey through the final few corners there. Meanwhile, your top three in train with one another. O'Reilly from Friedman from De Bont. Goudet set fastest lap of the race. So the top three really pushing the limits by the looks of the thing, as Yo's under pressure from Matt Wright. Aberdeen, meanwhile, pulling away from Duffin, who's now got Stardog behind him. As Airwolf in the chat said, let's go Duffin. Up into 8th place, but a little bit of a tap on the back of McGowan might get him in trouble a little bit later on. Wagner and Langley going at it. Leach trying to hunt down McGowan. And oh, Millington's in the wall. Not sure what's happened there. He's got quite a bit of damage to the front end of his car. He's now waiting for the pack to go through. But Millington dropped down the order. And once again, O'Reilly defending for his life here. He's got Friedman and De Bont, one behind the other. Really looking racy, these three. O'Reilly just trying to hold them off as best he possibly can. As you can see here, O'Reilly, Friedman and De Bont all close to one another. Matt Wright, meanwhile, was on the back of Yo, but seems to have dropped off. Now we've got Aberdeen now starting to get pressure from Duffin, who's also got Stardog behind him. Cherrymore with a good race here as well. P10 at the minute. Varga worked his way up to 11. He's got Langley just behind him. But your top three at the minute, one after the other. And De Bont looks like he's had a great run here on Will Friedman. And is he going to send it up towards turn number one? He's not quite close enough and falls back into position. De Bont fastest lap of the race last time out. And even though Goudet was looking quick, he's dropped right off the top three. 3.2 off the pace of the leaders. So really struggling at this minute. Well, Yo is putting on the ultimate defense against Matt Wright. No clear opportunity to find a way through. Meanwhile, Flop and Starrock going together. Flop runs wide and loses a position to Starrock there. Clouding in the chat, top three looking juicy, very juicy indeed. As you got Archer, Tipping and Cox close to one another. There is your top three. Will Friedman's made a mistake through Degner 1. And it's going to make him a little bit loose through Degner 2. And that's going to be a track limits warning. And De Bont right on the back bumper of these lot. Goudet as well seems to have lost some pace and has now dropped into the clutches of Yo and Wright. Aberdeen now suffering a little bit of pace here to Duffin. There's your top three going at it at the minute. Will Friedman right on the back bumper of O'Reilly. Where's he going to find the opportunity to go through? Thank you very much, Airwolf, in the chat. See there, O'Reilly, a little bit of a slide. He keeps it together, though. And you've got Friedman and De Bont. Reminder as well that De Bont, I believe, pretty sure is weight-free. Friedman has got a little bit of weight, but O'Reilly carrying 40 kilos on board his car, an additional to what weight fuel he's carrying as well. So accustomed to how well a job he's doing keeping these two, who are very, very fast drivers, behind him at the minute. Friedman and De Bont going at it for second place in a minute and want to have a go at O'Reilly as Goudet and Yo now go wheel to wheel again, as Matt Wright is just behind them. So they're going to have to be a little bit cautious of that as De Bont looks to the inside of turn number one on Friedman. But again, not enough momentum out of the final corner really offers an opportunity. Friedman, meanwhile, gets really close to the back bumper of O'Reilly. A sniff of an opportunity there, but none availed there for him. Flop, meanwhile, has got past ahead of Storrock. Archer, meanwhile, has got Cox behind him, and he's also got Tipping with him as well. Aberdeen defending from Duffin at the moment as well, so Matthew Duffin right on the back bumper. Top three once again go through the Degners. O'Reilly still doing the best job he can to hold off these two. Goudet holding off Yo and Wright at the minute, and then you've got Aberdeen heading off Duffin and Stardog, they're coming in 3x3s, other than Cherrymore, who's on his loads himself at the moment. Langley, by the looks of things, has got down Varga, and he's now got McGowan with him as well. We're at the halfway stage of this race. Leach in P14, Flop, then Stork, Archer, Cox, Tipping, Marsden, and Hovnath rounding off the group, and Millington still opting to carry on as well, which is great to see. Your top three going through Spoon. As Airwolf in the chat jumped into the server last night for some practice for tomorrow. Track was slippery in the McLaren. It is incredibly slippery indeed, being a night race. Now we're up to Optimum, so there should be significant grip out there. Look at your leaders at the minute, nose to tail, right behind one another, and then it's the same for P4, 5, and 6. They're in packs of threes at the minute. Duffin and Stardog, obviously Cherrymore on his lows himself, as Langley has pulled away from Varga. And can now McGowan get on their back bumpers? Leaders now coming towards turn number 1 once again, and DeBont gets so incredibly close to them, but he can't use that lightweight car that he has because this circuit is so incredibly difficult to overtake. Now, the Genettas have been showing some great overtaking over the last few races, and wherever we seem to go, there seems to be racing happening. Only since Paul Ricard and Suzuka have we really seen them really struggle to overtake. And you can see it here. O'Reilly, even with that 40 kilos on board, is able to keep the two behind him. And Yo now has got past Goudet, so a position gained there for Darren Yo, possibly team orders, possibly. And Aberdeen, meanwhile, still defending heavily from Duffin and just can't find a way through, can Duffin. Excuse me. Benny Archer and Cox still going at it, with Tipping just behind them also. So packs of 3 at the minute seems to be the recurring thing. 8 minutes left to go in this race. It is anyone's race for sure. Up towards Spoon we go. Once again, Friedman gets very, very close to the back of O'Reilly. Looks to get that smooth exit out of that Spoon corner and then into the slipstream now. But he was not quite close enough, I don't think, to really benefit the advantage of it through 130R. He needs to be spotless through 130R to then attack in the chicane, but he's not. O'Reilly was much better. Friedman, though, is close, but he's not close enough to send it up the inside. So again, as long as O'Reilly does what he needs to do, he is holding on to that position. And again, Aberdeen, Duffin and Stardog, not really an opportunity for any of them to make a move. McGowan has done Varga, so Varga dropping down a position, and Flop now hunting down Leach towards the end of this race. We've got Archer and Cox still going at it. We'll go on board with Archer. We go through 130R. Cox trying to get the better run. Can't do so at the minute. Can he look to the inside of the chicane? He's too far back. Oh, he gets ready to go to the back of Archer. The back end of that car steps out. And meanwhile, DeBont has got ahead of Friedman, and I've missed that. Too busy watching the other fights, and DeBont has passed Friedman. So, is O'Reilly now in trouble? O'Reilly now got DeBont hunting him down. With no Friedman in the way now, DeBont may have an opportunity here to get ahead. But up to the hairpin they go. DeBont looks to the outside. He doesn't want to try anything too daft because Friedman is still there, still ready to take advantage. Meanwhile, Yo, Goudet and Wright all still close to one another, so it's still on for Goudet to come back. Meanwhile, DeBont is pretty much pushing O'Reilly towards Spoon. Here we go to the helicopter cam. DeBont, though, goes wide. Off circuit he goes, and Friedman sneaks back up the inside. They go side by side, and once again, that's allowing O'Reilly off the hook. And we now go side by side with Friedman and De Bont. Is De Bont going to do it? Fernando Alonso around the outside. Friedman thinks better of it. I'm not going to fight him through here, and gives them position back. But some great racing nonetheless, and tight parts of the circuit as well. Really showing respect to one another. Yo, though, still under pressure from Goudet and Wright. Aberdeen doing a fantastic drive to hold off Duffin at the minute, and has really seems to be enjoying the Suzuka circuit. Meanwhile, here we go, Flop versus Leach, and Flop's already got the job done as Leach has to fall back into that 15th place position. It's getting Cox and Archer looking to go wheel to wheel. They're not quite close enough to one another. Into lap 7 we go, and it's still O'Reilly leading the way ahead of De Bont and Friedman. And you got this scrap between Goudet, Yo and Wright. Yo just not being able to disappear up the road. You got Aberdeen still trying to defend off Duffin. McGowan is trying to go with Langley, and Langley's caught Cherrymore at a fat race of knots. And Cherrymore, kind of was all on his lows himself, has now got some company of Langley, who's been kind of working his way back up the order after a terrible qualifying session. Can he get the job done in Degner 1? He's not quite close enough to Cherrymore at the minute. Cherrymore would love to finish in the top 10. Get some good points underneath him. Meanwhile, Yo looked momentarily like he was about to get Goudet on the timetables. Duffin very close to Aberdeen as they go to the hairpin. Aberdeen defends the inside. He's probably going to send him wide and give Duffin opportunity on the exit, but he's not close enough. Meanwhile, O'Reilly still ahead of De Bont, still ahead of Friedman. And some great racing between those guys. Absolutely fantastic respect, fast racing and respect given to one another. They've been absolutely fabulous here tonight at Suzuka. And Friedman now has the run on De Bont. Thinks momentarily about sending it through 130i. Be incredibly brave to do it there. Meanwhile, Yo has had a poor exit out Spoon, and that's concertinaed up. These guys, luckily, Goudet and Yo are teammates. And Matt Wright's looking to go around the outside of Goudet. He's not going to get the job done. And Goudet holds on, and Yo pulls away. And O'Reilly pulls a little bit of a gap on De Bont. And I think we got this and one more lap to go. So the penultimate lap we start. O'Reilly's hanging in there. Your championship leader, showing why he is the championship leader and doing so well at the minute. And Aberdeen ahead of Duffin. Cherrymore still under pressure from Langley. He goes very wide out of the final corner, and that's going to put him under some immense pressure. Leach is on the back of Varga and Flop, but no real positionings there changed as Archer has lost out to Cox. There's so much fights happening at the minute, it's difficult to stay on who is what's going on at the minute, but O'Reilly now starting to eke a gap away from De Bont. De Bont now, after looking so fast at the start of the race, looking like he's looking a little bit weak here, and Friedman looking like he's going to give him a bit of hard time. Pushing it right to the very end, to the limits of these Ginettas, and Friedman pretty much pushing De Bont. He goes a little bit wide, but he'll get a slingshot out the final corner, but the damage was done. Stardog, a drive-through penalty for him. Meanwhile, Langley has got the job done on Cherrymore after a great drive from Stardog. He gets a penalty there with Duffin and Aberdeen just ahead of him. So poor Stardog there, and everyone else is still relatively close to one another, so he's not actually going to really gain in. He's going to lose quite a bit as Yo pulls away from Goudet and Wright. But once again, De Bont under pressure from Friedman. Seems to be if you have no pressure behind you in third place, you can really hustle P2. And O'Reilly's just been minding his own business, just when Friedman gets very, very close to the back of De Bont. Goudet still trying to pull away from Wright and managing to do so. Duffin, if anything, is under some pressure from Stardog. He's dropped off the back of Aberdeen. Aberdeen's pulled away. Duffin just struggled to the end of this race. Leaders now start their final lap.
Give it all you can.
And O'Reilly, can he fend off the Bont Friedman? Two titanic drivers there who are going at it. Stardog still yet to do a drive-through, and he's not opting to do it. He's going to stay out. Everyone else pretty spread out at the minute. Be the top three. I think as well, they're starting to just spread out a little bit. O'Reilly seems to have them covered off at this moment in time. But an absolute brilliant race too we have had here. Some close racing. De Bont gets close once again. Meanwhile, Wright is very close to the back of Agude as well. But I think De Bont's going to run out of time. And once again, O'Reilly doing exactly what he needs. He's not been flustered. He's not made a mistake. And he's looked absolutely brilliant in this race. I may have absolutely cursed him now, but we'll see. But through Spoon they go. 130R and Casino Chicane has always got left to go. Flop pressurising McGowan. Stardog pressurising Duffin, but he's not going to gain anything. And Matt Wright still trying to hustle Goudet. Here we go. 130R. O'Reilly survives 130R. Can he hang on through Casino Chicane? Through he goes, and I think he will. Your championship leader will come through into second place and to win here at Suzuka. Kieran O'Reilly with the race win. A great drive from these three. De Bont finishing in P2, Friedman in P3. Darren Yeo now coming out of the final corner to score a solid P4 with that one. Great job from him. P5 will go the way of Goudet. Matt Wright will finish in P6. Aberdeen, another solid drive for P7 on that one. Duffin, P8. Stardog's doing his drive through a little bit too late. Langley will get 9th. 10th will go the way of Cherrymore. McGowan will get 11th. 12th will be Flop. Varga will be 13th. Leach, I believe, will be 14th as well. Just ahead of Storick, though, comes to the line. 30-second time penalty for Marston, so that did not work for him at all. Cox now comes to the line 17th. Archer in 18th. 19th will be Tipping. 20th will be Marsden. Hovnath in 21st. And Millington in 22nd. That was your second race, and a brilliant race nonetheless. Some exciting racing to watch there, and especially from the top three, they were spectacular. And there is Millington just coming to the end of his race, and once the tables is updated, we will see where they all finish in that one. But nonetheless, O'Reilly, a fantastic job for another race win to his name. We'll be back very shortly, as we will have a race 3 and final qualifying session underway just after the break, and we'll be back in a few moments' time. Welcome back, guys, to the channel as we get things underway for your third and final qualifying session here this evening. And into the final session we go, and then obviously still so much to come in the week. We got Pro and Pro-Am still later this week. Pro-Am's tomorrow night with myself bringing you all the action once again. And then on Thursday night, Sweet and Sticky in Your Box, aka Matthew Duffin and Kelly Davis, bringing you all the action for the pros on that night. And obviously a reminder as well, if you do want to be a part of the action, then head over to SimPlay Motorsport's Discord and SimGrid, get yourself signed up and be a part of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. Yeah, SimPlay Motorsport. Got so many teams stuck in my head, I don't know what I'm saying half the time. Championship standings though, once again, O'Reilly extends his championship lead, pulling away from the rest of the pack. Matthew Duffin sat currently second in the championship, but only a couple of points ahead of McGowan in P3. P4 is Darren Yeo, P5 is Friedman, P6 is Matt Wright with Goudet in P7, Skunky P8, Leach now in P9 with Langley in P10, Ramsell in 11th, Aberdeen up to 12th, Millington 13th, Flop in 14th, Varga 15th, Keynes in that 16th position and will be knocked out of the championship here this evening. Bolton in 17th with Tipping in 18th, Taylor 19th, Cherrymore 20th, DeBont 21st, Bell in 22nd, Archer 23rd, Marston 24th with Hoffner in 25th, Smith 26th, Stardog 27th, Johnson 28th, Sturrock 29th, Hovnath in 30th, Cummings 31st, Cox 32nd, Williams in 33rd, Best 34th, and Raiden in 35th. And also I've lost my track in teams. That's it, that's what I was thinking. Regarding the teams, it is Dapper Racing still leading the way ahead of Greasy Bandits Racing, Team GBR in third, Simplay Racing in fourth, Team RRM in P5, Quantum Motorsport P6 and Bullbusters Racing P7, Team Piston Pounders P8, with P9 going the way of CGT Motorsport, with 10th place going for the way of G&D Racing, Team Audio Sport in 11th, Team 12th is Road Runner Motors, 13th is Lexi's Industries Racing, 14th is Blunt Force Racing, Soldor Racing in 15th, OWR Racing in 16th, 2C's Racing in 17th, 18th is Team FBR, and 19th is Apex GP. And that is your championship standings. The drivers are currently now into their third qualifying session of the night, their third and final time to nab a point for pole position. And who is going to take that glory in the final race here tonight. For the Genettas, this will be it. Tomorrow, for tomorrow, it'll be Pro-Am and Pro, but we will then be heading to stateside. Once again, we're heading to Laguna Seca for the second night race, one after the other, Suzuka, and then we head to Laguna for our second night race of the season. Then following things off at Snetterton, then Valencia, and finally finishing things off at the home of SimPlay Motorsport, Donington Park, the final round of this season, rounding off a fantastic season that we've had. It's a shame we've lost a few drivers along the way, but hopefully we will be able to get more and more drivers back as the coming seasons come around. But we are coming to the end of the first lap of qualifying, and it is Duffin once again who is going to set the first lap time here. And at the final corner he comes. And the benchmark is going to be a nothing, as O'Reilly does an 11.1. Flop goes within 1.4 of him. Matt Wright in P2. Goudet now in that P3 position. Millington going into 5th place position. At least it's a lap time on the board. Then it is Yo. He goes second, 6/10 off the back of O'Reilly. And I believe it is Aberdeen Leach. Sorry, comes to the line and goes P4. As Aberdeen, I don't think put a lap time on the board. No, he did not. Archer now exiting the final corner. And what is this going to be for him? It's a P8 for Archer, and then we've got Friedman coming to the line. No lap time set for him. And I believe the Bont has made sure he has got some clean air. Where is he? Yep, he is on his lonesome self, so that is definitely got some clean air. Hofnath now coming to the line with Cox closely behind him. And Hofnath, no lap time, nor for Cox. Then we've got Cherry Moore. Any lap time from him? No, not from him either. I believe the Bont is in the final chicane. Yes, he is. He's also got McGowan just ahead of him. Also Starog just behind him also. So another lap for these guys also as McGowan goes P7. And here comes the Bont on his own. Hopefully this has worked out for him. No, it has not. No lap time on the board for him. So first lap's done and everyone just struggling to get a lap time on the board. Only 9 laps were valid. As we've got Duffin and O'Reilly now coming towards the final few corners here. There's a car off in turn 2. And I believe that is Stardog. Started with a 3. Know that. But Duffin now exits the final corner. He will get another lap on the board. And O'Reilly obviously was not improving. He's backed off. Duffin, has he finally got a lap time on the board? Yes, he does. It puts him P4. O'Reilly backed off. Will this next lap be the lap as Langley goes P2 now? A great lap from him. And Flop crosses the line, but no improvement. A lot of cars now making it to the line for another lap. Millington will not, and it will be 10th at best for him. To the line now, by let's see, comes Yo. He will not improve either, and he will stay where he is for the moment. That is Benny Varga coming to the line now. Is this going to be an improvement? It is going to be a lap time. He goes into 11th. Meanwhile, Freeman exits the final corner, and he has Archer just in front of him. So is this going to hurt his lap time? Friedman to the line. He goes P2. So good enough to be on the front row. Archer goes 12th on that one. So luckily those two didn't really hinder one another. As Leach is in the pits, who's in the final sector. There's a few cars in the final sector. Bont on a lap. It is Hovnath. He comes to the line. 12th for him in the end. The Bont, I know, is then next to come to the line. Or is it McGowan? It was going to be McGowan. There is McGowan. 10th place at the minute. And what's this going to be? Does he improve? Yes, he goes into 5th place position. And now the Bont now to the line. Has he taken pole position away? Yes, he has. He takes pole away from O'Reilly. And a few more guys still on a lap. Duffin, O'Reilly as well. So we can take that pole position back as well. Langley is done. We've got Matt Wright looking to improve. Goudet as well. And Flop also. So these guys still yet to find some time. It's going to be Duffin first. One on the back of that pack, I think, is on an invalid lap. So whoever it is not going to improve. Duffin now to the line, 1.4 off the pace. What's it going to be in the end? He finds a 10th but doesn't improve his position. O'Reilly takes pole position back away from De Bont. Flop then improves and goes up another position as well. So does Matt Wright. John Goudet. Did he improve? I can't see. Yes, he did. So he improved also. So another solid qualifying for them. And great stuff there. Service is dead for me. Not my strongest week, says Varga. Struggling indeed for Varga. Not been his strongest week at all. As we're about to get race 3 underway here. O'Reilly on pole position once again. And again, just to put it into perspective, he is driving with 40 kilos on aboard that car and producing that lap time. Like, that's impressive that he's managed to do that. It's very, very impressive. But we will see how this race goes, as I will now get a poll going ready for you guys. We'll also look at for driver of the day also. I mean, group of the day has to be the top three. They've been absolutely brilliant. We'll see how race 3 goes then. Last chance to get a win on their name, as it's been the top 3 pretty much every race. And then obviously with, 4th place has been a different driver, I believe, every session. But we'll see if Langley can stick with the guys at the front. So make sure, guys, you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified. Obviously, after the stream, you feel free to put any comments in the chat as well. Spread the stream around, get it out there. As I still think this is probably one of the most competitive console league out there. Oh. There you go, guys. That is the poll. Who do you think is going to win this one? And now a quick run through of who is where. O'Reilly will start on pole position ahead of De Bont in 2nd. Will Friedman will start 3rd. Then we've got Langley in P4. Yo will start P5 with McGowan in P6. Goudet P7. P8 getting away a flop. P9 Matt Wright. Duffin will start P10. Leach in 11th. Millington in 12th with Hovnaf's 13th. Archer in 14th with Tipping in 15th. Aberdeen starting 16th with Marston in 17th. Cox in 18th place position with Stork in 19th. 20th is Stardog and Cherrymore in 21st, as we lost Varga, I believe, through the internet. So sadly, no Varga for this one, unless he can get himself back into the server. A reminder as well, if you haven't done so, have a look at our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sport as well. And they offer such great products as well. So have a look at their websites, have a look at their Facebook pages as well. As they're all coming through the final few corners. Oh, excuse me. Of Sector 1. As I get comfy and ready to go for this 3rd and final race tonight. It's been epic to watch. It's been brilliant to watch. And it's going to be tight to the very end. It's been the top 3 every single race so far, but 2 different winners. De Bont, O'Reilly, and can Friedman now get a win to his name to really show that it's been about these 3 all night long. Been absolutely fabulous to watch, but who knows in this last race. Last opportunity, last chance here at Suzuka. Still, we've got some weather lingering around, possibly for the pros or pro-ams. Just trying to have a look at the weather now. Ibes, good race for Langley. It was a good recovery. This could be a good race for him now as well. He always end up getting lost in this one. Trying to also find the weather. There we go. For Pro-Am, it is looking very dry for the minute. Very dry for the Pro-Am. And for the Pro, we are yet to see what it will be. But they're in the final corners now, heading up towards Casino Chicane. This is it. Who is going to take the win? For the final time tonight, O'Reilly and De Bont on the front row. It is Dapper versus All Busters Racing. Who is going to be the main man tonight? Who is going to take the win here at Suzuka in the land of the rising sun? The 74 versus the 836, and obviously watch out for the 208 of Will Friedman. It has been a tight fight, and what can Langley do? Who knows, as we now wait for starters orders for the final time tonight here at Suzuka. And we are green and go, racing here at Suzuka for the final time as O'Reilly and Langley head towards turn number one. Not Langley, De Bont head towards turn number one. De Bont's going to send it right round the outside. Try and be brave. Has his bravery paid off? No, it hasn't. O'Reilly has got through, and Friedman also snuck up the inside. He's going to be on the inside for turn 3. And De Bont has gone wide, and like I said, his bravery has not helped him out. Langley now looking for an opportunity. Anywhere else for any mistakes? No, all relatively clean so far, as they are working their way through the orders at the moment. But it is O'Reilly with the start that he needed. Leads the way ahead of Friedman, then De Bont, then Langley. Now wait for the tables to update. McGowan, I think, has had an off, or he's dropped to the back. Yes, he has. So McGowan's had some form of hiccup somewhere, and Goudet now really hustling the back of his teammate Yo, with Flop looking up the inside momentarily there. Duffy meanwhile pressurizing Matt Wright. He's also got Leach behind him to head up towards Spoon now. Your top 3 once again already starting to pull a little bit of a gap to Langley, and Langley just has to fall into position at this time and really hope for something to happen with the top 3. But the way they've been driving is really unlikely to happen. They've been so clean and consistent. Now I've said that, they're going to be cursed and something's going to happen. Your top 3: O'Reilly, Friedman, De Bont, Langley. Lap 1 coming to an end as we see a couple of cars a little bit wide there. Who's that? That is Tipping, losing out to Marsden there. And also now Stardog goes through. Is Stork now going to go through? Yes, he is. There's a few more positions gained for those guys. Tipping just struggling here at Suzuka. Meanwhile, his teammate on the other hand is having a fantastic Suzuka. He's really enjoying it here, and he's under pressure from he put pressure on Millington and Leach. It's a great racing once again, and De Bont once again is on the back bumper of Friedman, but I think De Bont pushing a little bit too hard, carrying a little bit too much speed into turn 1. They've already dropped Langley, who's then starting to become a mobile chicane for everyone else. You've got Yo, Goudet, Flop, Duffin. What has happened to Matt Wright? He was right on the back of these guys. Where is Matt Wright on the tables? He's dropped right down to the back of the pack, so he's obviously had a spin or a moment somewhere, and he's ended up to the back of the pack. We go through sector 1 up to sector 2. There you go. The top 3 just spreading out a little bit. Hovnaf there leading the second pack at the minute. And Aberdeen once again has made a move on Leach. His next target is Millington. Andy Aberdeen doing fantastic again. Another solid drive for him at this stage. As they all there work through their right-hander, heading up towards Spoon now. Here is Marsden under pressure from Stardog. Stardog not close enough to really mount an attack. The exit Spoon corner, all pushing the limits there. The two blunt force racing duo. Storrock for company just behind them. Your top 3 start to Constantina up again. Freeman though really wanting a race win. It would have been 3 apiece for them. Darren Yo on the back of Langley, can't seem to find an opening at this moment in time. Leach now starting to put some pressure on the back of Aberdeen here. Leach in the tow. brave enough to try and send it into turn number 1. No, he's not. He holds off for the moment. Aberdeen holds on to that position. Meanwhile, McGowan is on the back of tipping, not able to find a way through there. Cox has got Marsden for company. Archer was on the back of Hobath, but he's not now. Drop further back once again. DeBont, meanwhile, has made a little mistake somewhere because he's dropped off the back of the top 2. That's given Friedman maybe a little bit of breathing room to maybe start giving O'Reilly a bit of a headache. But if he's going to do it, he needs to do it in the early parts to really start to put a little bit of pressure on him. Flop, meanwhile, has dropped Duffin and is now pressurising Goudet, who's still got Yo ahead of him, and Langley. But if Friedman needs to do, if he wants to get this race win, he needs to catch O'Reilly off guard. He needs to probably force a mistake out of him, because O'Reilly has just been fast and consistent all night long. At least for a minute it looked like he had a moment on Aberdeen, but he does not. We do have a fight here between Marsden, Stardog and Cherrymore. Cherrymore going around the outside but can't do so. So he's actually dropped down the order, has Marsden here. And he's now got Matt Wright looking up his inside towards Spoon. And Matt Wright can't get through there. So he's going to have to back off. So Marsden looks like he's had a moment. And he's dropped down the order quite significantly. As Friedman now pretty much pushing O'Reilly. 2 tenths separated them when they went through sector 2 for the second split. And once again, O'Reilly has got Friedman for company. Friedman on the back bumper heading towards turn number 1. Friedman gets relatively close to the back of O'Reilly. Can he do anything about him? Really pushing the limits here, and as they take longer to fight, that just allows the Bont to get closer once again, and then Friedman's attention then draws back to him. Meanwhile, Flop, Goudet and Duffin all close to one another. Millington's trying to defend off Aberdeen. And Aberdeen once again showing he's had the pace here tonight in Suzuka. Oh, and Hovnaf's made a mistake. That's possibly going to allow Cox to go around the outside. No, it's not. He's managed to hold him off. We've got Archer behind him with Stardog as well. Storick is now getting involved also. McGowan has cleared Tipping. Tipping's now got Matt Wright for company. And there we go. Up the inside goes Matt Wright. Should be done through Dunlop curb. Yes, it is. And down towards Degner 1 and 2. Oh, Friedman's gone off. Friedman has made a mistake somewhere, maybe too much inside curb, and he's now dropped down the order. O'Reilly's also made a mistake. So, I don't know if those two have come together, but O'Reilly has dropped down the order, as has Friedman. So, possible contact between the two, and De Bont now leads. I might have to try and get the highlights up so I can see what happened there. But Will Friedman dropping down the order with O'Reilly, and now Langley giving O'Reilly a bit of a hard time. He's now on the podium. Yo also just behind him, so all these guys are game for a podium here, and they want one right to the very end. But Friedman will be working his way back up the order as quickly as he possibly can. Meanwhile, further back, it looked like Millington is under pressure from Aberdeen. Yes, he is. Millington still trying to hold off Aberdeen as best he can. Hovnaf still defending from Cox. Stardog looking up the inside of Benny, but can't get the job done there. So really racy 3 this is turning out to be. Langley defending from Yo. That's allowed O'Reilly to just disappear as Langley goes wide. Up the inside goes Darren Yo. But also Will Friedman's there. Langley's fighting back. He's going to go up the inside of the first S's. He hits the curb. Yo gives him respect. Friedman backs out of it. And great racing once again from these 3. And Yo gets the position on Langley. Friedman just being patient, just waiting for the right opportunity to find a way through. But he can't at this moment in time.
And Langley, though, looking to come back on Darren Yeo, but he's going the long way of Dunlop curb. That was never really going to work there. That just wasted him time. But Friedman now right up the back bumper of Langley. Meanwhile, further back, Flop is still defending off of Duffin, and Aberdeen really hustling the back of Millington. Hovnath and Cox still going at it. We're at the halfway stage of this race. That has flown by as Matt Wright has caught McGowan relatively quickly. So McGowan probably carrying some damage, but DeBont leads ahead of O'Reilly, ahead of Yeo. And here comes Will Friedman now looking to make a move on Langley. Langley goes wide. Friedman looking up the inside of the second part of Spoon. I think Friedman might be able to get this done unless he scrubbed a little bit too much speed off. Possibly has. No, he's actually got the job done, and Langley has to fall in line as now Friedman will now look to try and attack Yeo and get himself back into the top three once again. Meanwhile, Flop pressurising Goudet. Flop looks to the outside, and Goudet goes a little bit deep into the chicane. And Flop on the outside can't get the run he needs, and Duffin close behind. Meanwhile, Aberdeen goes off and Leach goes through. So where is Millington? Millington, so he tried possibly a move on Millington, but got it all wrong. Meanwhile, Cox has gone straight on at the chicane. And Hovnath, meanwhile, losing out of that. So possibly, actually Cox was ahead of Hovnath, so possibly nothing of it there. Wright, meanwhile, has already done Storick and McGowan, so Wright is catching up pretty quickly. McGowan going to the very inside of the circuit. Not sure why. Very strange. The top two look like it's going to be settled between DeBont, O'Reilly, and Darren Yeo now under some pressure from Friedman. Still got this fight between Goudet, Flop, and Duffin. Not really much coming off of it. As Friedman still harassing the back of Darren Yeo. Right up the back bumper of Darren Yeo. Oh, he gets very close to him into the hairpin. Friedman goes a bit deep, loses speed and momentum there, and Darren Yeo just extends the gap once again. It seems to be Spoon is where the mistakes seem to be happening, and drivers able to capitalise there. Matt Wright trying to now hunt down Cox as he's got past Hovnath as well. Cherrymore onto the back of Marsden. So fights all still happening up and down the order. Darren Yeo and Friedman as they go into 130R. Friedman taking a little bit better curve, having a better run than Darren Yeo. Down towards the chicane they go. Friedman touches the dirt ever so slightly. Darren Yeo though holds off the position, and Friedman will have to try something else as Langley has just dropped off the back of these guys. Flop now returning the attack to Goudet as he's been defending from Duffin from a little bit. Oh God, my back got a little bit too comfy there as they all head towards turn number 1. Go back on Yeo and Friedman because these two have had an absolutely epic fight so far. As I'm now popping in a driver of the day votes to get yourself ready to vote on who you think was a driver of the day. Friedman still can't find a way through on Yeo. He's looking left, he's looking right. And Yeo defending everywhere he needs to be at the minute. you go, ladies and gentlemen. There is your poll for driver of the day. DeBont, O'Reilly, Friedman and Aberdeen are the ones I think that have been the star class tonight. And there, Friedman looking for an opportunity. Can't find it at this moment in time. Once again, Flop meanwhile dropping off the back of Goudet. That's going to allow Duffin to get a little bit closer. Aberdeen once again chasing down Leach. Come to the final stages of this race. Has Yo managed to hold off Friedman through the chicane? Yes, he has. O'Reilly, I think, has brought the gap down ever so slightly. It's matching one another at the front. So DeBont looking strong out in front as Langley is starting to actually creep back onto Friedman and Yo once again. So they're fighting a little bit too hard. Goudet still got Flop and Duffin right up his backside. No opportunities there. Here we go, Storrock and McGowan. Storrock defending the inside. McGowan trying to stick into the toe. Cherrymore into the pits, and I think he's retired as well. Arching out onto the back of Marsden. It's a very, very close racing here. Get to the final few moments of this race. Flop meanwhile under pressure from Duffin. Duffin touching the inside curb there. Going to unsettle the car as they go through the swooping right-hander of Degner 1 into Degner 2, and Flop doesn't seem to be too phased at the minute. Friedman meanwhile dropping into the clutches of Langley. Goudet pulling away from Flop and Duffin now. Storrock meanwhile still trying. Oh, Hovnaff's gone off big time there, and that's going to allow Storrock and McGowan through. So poor Hovnaff there losing out. Friedman now running out of time to get Yo back, to get himself back into that top three. So guys, votes for driver of the day has gone live now, so get your votes in on who you think deserves this one. Your leader DeBont now exiting the final corner. We're going to start his penultimate now. O'Reilly pretty much in secured second place. The end of this third and final race here tonight, as we look forward to the Pro-Ams tomorrow. The action doesn't stop here at SimPlay Motorsport. Tomorrow night will be the Pro-Ams, me bringing you all the action once again. Matthew Duffin and Kelly Davis bringing you action for the pros on Thursday night, as Flop and Duffin go into turn number 1, line astern, and Flop holding them off at this stage. Aberdeen once again putting pressure on the back of Leach, and finally McGowan's got the run on Storrock to head towards turn number 1, and he does not go for it, so he drops further back. Archer losing out to Stardog as well, and Friedman still stuck behind the back of Darren Yo. As Yo is trying his very, very best just to hold off Friedman right to the very end here. Friedman has a tank slapper there on the exit of Degner 2. Up to the hairpin they go once again. Friedman gets a little bit too much on the curb, and I think that causes the car to become a little bit unsettled under braking. Flop once again defending off Duffin. Meanwhile, these two too busy defending from one another, is allowing Millington to slowly work his way back onto the back of him. Matt Wright quietly minding his own business. He's got himself back up to 13th place. He's now chasing Cox down. I think that's probably about as far as he's going to go if he gets him. But Flop once again defending off Duffin. Meanwhile, Friedman still stuck on the back of Yo. Up to 130R we go. much better run through 130R, a much better run. He's going to look up the inside of the braking zone, but Yo kind of defends the inside of the circuit. Not done there as Duffin now looks up the inside of Flop, and that's a job done there for Duffin. Great move from him, moves him up a position. Leader now starts the final lap here. De Bont comfortably out in front. But the question is, who is going to finish in that third place position? Aberdeen once again pressurising the back of Gary Leach, who's really struggling here at Suzuka. Cox meanwhile still ahead of Matt Wright, but is going to come to the very end here. McGowan and Starrock going at it. Once again, Marsden and Stardog, they're close racing one another. Archer was close to him, but he's dropped off the back of him. Terry Moore has got back out on track, which is good to see. But Friedman once again just stuck on the back of Yo as they head to Degner 2. Just Yo doing everything he needs to do at this stage. Friedman looking for an opportunity, trying to get the better traction, trying to get the better run, but he can't do it at the minute. And Darren Yo putting up a titanic defence. Touched a little bit too much of the inside curve there. That's going to unsettle his car. And Flop looks like he was coming back at Duffin momentarily, but not at the minute. Any other positions change at the minute. Wright was close to Cox. He's not quite close enough at the minute. But we now look to your first place winner for race 3. He won race 1 and he's going to win race 3 here tonight. De Bont, another spectacular drive from himself. He exits the final few corners now. He takes a race win here tonight. De Bont, 2 wins to his name. He wins the final race here at Suzuka. A massive congratulations to him. In the end, O'Reilly's going to finish in that second place position. Who is it going to be for third, though? It is going to be Darren Yo right to the very end. Friedman in his toe, but he's not going to get him. Yo to the line for third. Friedman in fourth. Fifth is going to be Langley. Goudet is in sixth. Duffin will finish in seventh. Flop in the end was eighth. Millington dropping down the order, so it's Leach for ninth. Aberdeen 10th. Millington in 11th. 12th is Cox. Matt Wright 13th, didn't quite get him in the end. Stark in the end is going to finish in 14th place position. Hovnaf now coming out of the final corner, still close to Stark. He's not going to get him, I'm afraid, so Hovnaf stays in 15th. Tipping in 15th. McGowan, I don't know if he's run out of fuel, but he's coming to a halt. Through will go Marsden then. Stardog and Benny as well will go through, and Cherrymore at the back. No, McGowan gets 17th in the end, and then Cherrymore in 20th position. But that was a great race nonetheless. Some great action once again to see. Some hard fought positionings there, but in the end it was De Bont who took the race win. I'll be back very shortly as I'll have interviews and I will have the highlights up in a few moments time, but I'll just run through the tables just a few minutes while I'll be back in a second.
And we are back live once again, and I will do the tables a little bit later on once I have a little bit more time. But we do have your race 2 winner with us this evening, and that is O'Reilly, your championship leader as well, who has really been quite dominant this season in the GT4 class. Kieran, it's been quite an eventful night for yourself. Obviously, you look like you were struggling quite a bit with that heavy weight on board, and especially with DeBont and Will Friedman really not giving you any chance to breathe in those 3 races. But talk about your night, because it must have been a tricky one nonetheless.
Yeah, the weight's starting to play a big factor now. I mean, it doesn't help that the majority of the top guys around me don't seem to be running any, so I'm just a one-man band at the minute, just trying to keep it together. So it's always going to be a bit of a mismatch, but I managed to find the pace after a few more laps of testing tonight, and start slapping it on pole, which is always nice. And yeah, overall, I mean, I've got to be happy with it, I suppose. I'm just a little bit irritated with race 3, as you know, probably could have been another win on the cards there, but a bit of contact spun me round, so I suppose it is what it is. You have to move on from them things and just look forward to next week.
I mean, with a quite a large gap to the rest of the pack, I mean, obviously it's more for pride rather than the championship. But either way, was obviously Suzuka really difficult circuit to overtake. Was pole position that important around here? Because it did look like it. As soon as you're out in front, no one could seem to get past you.
I'm not sure. I think it all depends on who you're following and if they make any mistakes. It's obviously very tight, so it's always going to be tricky. But if you know you can race with someone and you know, the mutual respect there with good racecraft, you can maybe, you know, dive a bit and poke the nose in. But I think with the GT4s, they're going to be a lot easier than GT3s. So yeah, I don't even want to think what the GT3s will be like when we're bumper to bumper.
Yeah, definitely so, and especially with that Honda, it seems to be quite a bit of a handful anyway. But like always, you seem to dial it in come race night. Obviously, still talking about the Whodarron Cup. Obviously, next round of the championship is another night race. I did get it mixed up last week. I said it was going to be Laguna, but it turned out to be Suzuka. But it is Laguna next on the calendar, and I'm officially right this time. I'm even staring at the calendar just to make sure. How are you feeling about Laguna? Is it a circuit you tend to like, and what are your hopes there?
Yeah, well, I thought we were talking about Laguna last week, and the funny thing is, I really don't like Suzuka. And last week I was saying I'm really confident, I can't wait for this week. So yeah, it was a bit of a funny one when I realised it wasn't actually that track. But
yeah,
when it comes to Laguna, I do actually like the track. I think the Dinetta will, you know, it flies around there. I think I've done a race there previously as well in one of the GT4 seasons, so we've got something to work off, which is always nice. And again, we just got to go into these races just with the confidence, really. You know, we just, like I say, it's always ideal if you can get up there with the qualifying. And I actually think Laguna is going to be one of the trickiest for overtaking. It's not a nice one for overtaking, so I think it's going to come down to the qualies and track position. But like I say, I like the track, so I'm looking forward to that.
Obviously, a quick word of the different challenges of being at night. Is that much of a difference regarding the Suzuka and Laguna? Does it really make that much of a difference, or for you is it just day and night really?
I always thought that it did, to be fair, and I don't know whether I've just got a bit more used to it, but I don't really think it does play a factor to me anyway, personally. I think Laguna might be a bit tricky because I have done some laps a couple of months ago when it was night time, and it seems like it's hard to see the apexes a bit, obviously running the cockpit cam and stuff. So
yeah,
I think Laguna might be a bit different, a little bit more tricky, but overall I actually quite like the night racing. It's always nice to switch it up. I'm just waiting for some rain now.
Well, from what I heard in the week, there might be some rain for Pro. I'm currently actually doing my rain dance now because it might give me a chance to catch you up in the championship. But nonetheless, mate, it's been a fantastic night's worth of racing for yourself, and best of luck for Thursday night. And pretty much one hand on the trophy so far.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
And that was O'Reilly, and driver of the day at the minute poll has gone the way of Aberdeen. A fantastic night, worth of points for him. Spectacular drive from him this evening, and a well-deserved driver of the day. That is it for the Whodarron Cup. There's no other drivers in the box either. I don't think Friedman or DeBod really tend to come in for interviews, and nor does Yo. So that is that. I will get the tables up to date in a few moments time, but that is it. It's been DeBont and O'Reilly has been at the top of the class here tonight at Suzuka. Tomorrow night is Pro-Am night. Will Langley be able to continue his championship extension against Vitas, or will Vitas bring the gap down with Varga back? Who knows? Anyone can win here at Suzuka. And then obviously Thursday night is the Pro. Can O'Reilly keep hold of his championship lead, or can anyone start to hunt him down towards the end of the season? Who knows? Make sure you're here at SimPlay Motorsport to see all the action. I've been Dan Davis. This has been the Whodarron Cup, and I shall see you tomorrow night for the Pro-Ams. Good night.